Hello there and welcome to the new Tableau data visualization tutorial. And in this tutorial, we will going to look at a new dashboard. So far in last couple of days, I have published many dashboards, and if you have not checked that out, then look at the link in the description where I have the playlist of all the various different dashboards. And in today's dashboard, we will going to look at the Playstore data. So there are applications on the Google Play Store, and they have the different statistics like the number of reviews, how many numbers of times they have been downloaded, what is the rating that is being given, and based on that we can create a dashboard for us. And this dashboard can be a real opportunity for the business to basically understand what sort of applications are working, what application does not work, in which area, in which category they work and they don't work, and things like those. So in today's video, or in today's dashboard project tutorial, we will going to look at this data. First, we will look at some of the issues that we have with this data, how we can resolve those issues, and then finally put everything in a structure and create a visualization that will going to help us understand how we can basically better interpret this information for our end user. And here I am having my perspective of looking at the data, but you can have your perspective of looking at the data and a different thought process or a different angle to create a dashboard. So what I really encourage is that look at my point of view, but also create at least 3 to 4 your different point of view, and that way you will be able to better explore any data that is coming in your way. And what you explore, right, let me know in the comments so that I can also better understand from your knowledge as well as others to help the community of the data visualization developers. So with that, let's start with the data visualization project by first understanding the data and then developing the visualization. Also, during the visualization, as you know, I talk about a lot of different tips, tricks, also the interview questions. So stay tuned with me during this entire video, and by the end, I'm sure that you will be coming out with a good, valuable knowledge. With that, let's start. I found this interesting data set over there and thought it will be a good use case for creating a dashboard like this. And what I have created is sort of a business dashboard, which is helpful to create a structure, or maybe in your own business dashboard you can follow this, which is helpful in looking at some of the interesting insights along with some standard filters. Alright, so it starts with the name of the application. As you can see, there are like various different applications which has been given, and if I go down, you will see that it goes all the way up to 10,842 rows. That means 10,841 applications data is present over there. Then you have the category, and for this category you have multiple categories like the art and design, auto and vehicles, beauty, book and reference, so on and so forth. Then we have something called as ratings over here, and from 1 to 5, and then you have NaN, which is not a number or a missing value. And this is something I will show you how you can replace one of the method of imputing the missing value, as they say in the data science language, or filling the missing values in a normal language like we say, or updating the values wherever it is missing. So there are like it's a big concept as to what you need to do to fill the values, the missing values, but I will show you relatively straightforward approach, which is slightly technical but easily manageable and easily explainable as well. Then we will look at the reviews. So we have these reviews down there from 0 to all the way to this very high, I guess 7.8 million or 78 million. Just really can't count these numbers so fast, but that's the reviews that we have. Then we have the size. If you will see that it starts from 1.0 million, but at some places you have 429k and sort of a structure like that. So that is something we can do as the data cleaning exercise, or we may leave it if we don't have to do any calculation over there. But a better way is we clean this up. Then we have the installs, and 10,000 plus installs, 500,000 plus installs, 5 million installs, 50 million installs, so on and so forth. Then what type of this application, whether it is free, paid, again NaN, not a number or a missing value which is there. Then you have the price, if there is any price for this application, all the way up to $400 application. And then type of content, it's adult only, everyone 10 plus, mature, teen, and unrated. Then we have again genre, which is slightly one level down to category. If you will see, art and design, but in some cases pretend play, creativity, action and adventure, so on and so forth for these genres. And then you have last updated, when the application was last updated, that value. And finally, not finally, but second last is the current version. What you have is whatever that current version is, and supported Android version. That means this application version can run only 4.0.3 and up, but in some cases you can see it is 2.3 and up, 3.0 and up, so on and so forth for the rest of the application. Alright, so we can now take this application or take this data inside the Tableau, and first of all start cleaning this up a little bit, and then put it in a right structure. Alright, so here we are, and in the Microsoft Excel, what I will take is the Google Playstore dataset, and the same dataset is present over here. And in these cases, if you see the NaN, so this is the missing value, but if I go up there, here it has taken it as a string data type. So first we need to change the data type. So we'll click here on the ABC, and this will present this drop down, and we will say number decimal, because if you will see, it is different ratings like 4.4, 3.8. If we choose number whole, then it will remove that decimal. So make sure that you are choosing number decimal, and that way if you will go down, it will now change to null. So in case of numeric value, you get null. In case of string, you get NaN, and it can be an interview question as to how the missing values are interpreted in case of a string and in case of the numeric value. So in case of numeric value, the answer is null, and in case of string values, the answer is NaN. Alright, so once we have done that, we have a lot of things. First thing is imputing the missing values. So what we will do is come over here on this drop down and click on the create calculated field, and let's call it ratings. So this is only rating and this is ratings, and what I want to say is if is null, and then we will provide rating as a field. Then what we want is basically based on the category in which it is present, we want to fill the average rating over here, and for that we will have to use the LOD expression. So what we need is fixed at category level, and then provide average rating. So whatever that average rating is based on the category, let's provide that. That can be one rule of thumb, but there, as I mentioned, there can be other ways as well by which you want to figure it out. Maybe let's say you see that based on your subject matter expertise, that not just category, but in which how many installs that has happened over there, whether it is a free or a priced application. So it can have so many effects based on how you want to impute, but what we are taking here is relatively simple approach where based on the category it is present, we are replacing the missing value based on their average rating value in that category. So average rating, then after that we will say else, we have rating, and finally we have AND. So now as you can see, this calculation is valid. We will click apply and we will click OK. So that this rating, the new column is not present, but it will be presented here in the sheet 1 ratings, as you can see. So coming back to this, now if in some cases, let's say review is missing, you can update the reviews. If current version is missing, you can update the current version. Similarly for size, what you can do is using the write function, you can change the value. So from write, if you see if it is M, then you should multiply this value by 1,000,000, and if it is K, like in this case, then you multiply it with 1000. So that is something what you can experiment, and it will be pretty interesting. Let me know if you cannot figure this out, but the hint is you need to use the right function. Similarly, over here in this case, you may have to use one simple function, or maybe a split approach, and you will be able to get this data. So I'm leaving this up to you. It's relatively straightforward. If you have not watched my previous videos where I've explained similar sort of scenarios, then I think you should watch that and then come back here. But in case of any issues, let me know in the comments if you can't do that. So for now, what I'm good, at least for this dashboard perspective, what I want to create. And the first thing is basically trying to understand. So what we want to understand is, based on this reviews, what is the content ratings. So content ratings categorization by the count of reviews, and this will be our first visualization. And for that we can experiment many, but what I want is the tree map, which I can present at the top. And over here, if you see, we have got the content ratings, everyone. So reviews is close to 2 billion if I'm not wrong, and then next is teen, everyone is followed by 683 million, and then 197 million for mature 17 plus. So this is one way of looking at this visualization, where if you see, what it is showing you is the sum of reviews, right? But in, let's say, because everyone or teen or this category, we may probably want to see the average reviews as to how they are based on their average reviews they have got in their respective category, which I think is a much more relevant calculation in this case. So if we take the average and also change the size based on the average, you will see a very different visualization now, where you have this everyone 10 plus, and then teen, mature 17 has come up, everyone has come down, and finally you have adult 18 plus, just on an average 27,000 reviews that these applications have got, which I feel like much more relevant as compared to the sum. So first sheet, we have this content ratings by the reviews. The next visualization is a relatively straightforward visualization. So what we want is the based on the reviews, the top 10 applications. So for that, what we will do is we will have this particular chart. We will change this to chart like this. Right now what it is giving you is sum of reviews. Nope, what I need is basically the ratings. So I'll change this to ratings and sort it again. The highest rating is the 40.5, but as you can see it, or as you can understand, that this is not the rating that you can get. Rating is between 1 to 5, so it has to come down to average. So we'll check the average, and now you can see the rating has reduced to 4.5. So if I just change this, and it will show you the application, many application has got the 5 ratings, and that's what it has shown over here. However, you can sort them by the number of installs, because it may happen that this application has just maybe 10 install or 100 install, but have got the 105 rating, which probably not the right criteria. So this I'm leaving up to the interpretation as to how do you want to sort, or how do you want to categorize this. But for now, what we want is, let's say, this visualization. But if we have this top 10 visualization, so for example, if I just put it in a filter and say top 10 ratings average, and if I click apply, what you get is just this chart, which does not look good. So what we can do is change this to a number. But again, for the number, what you're getting is just the 5 as the rating. But that's what it is, and it will change when we will provide the filters. So what we have is the top 10 apps by ratings, and we can create a new worksheet, and the shortcut I wanted to show you is Control M. So many times I really don't like moving the mouse a lot, so what I choose is the Control M is the option to create new sheets and things like those wherever the shortcut is present. So now we will take another stab at the top 10 apps, and this time the top 10 apps is by the price. So what do we have is price app, and we will create this simple chart. Again, what you got is the sum of price. Let's change this to average price because that would be a right indicator, and if we sort it again, you will get the highest paid, or the $400 is the highest one. And very surprisingly, I have never used this app, but I am Rich Trump Edition, not really sure what it is. Most expensive app, I am Rich Pro. I mean, anyone is seriously buying this app? I've never seen such app, but who knows. So this is the one, whatever that situation may be. But yeah, let's filter it out and make this edit filter top by field top 10 price average. Click apply, and what you get is the top 10 apps. Again, it will be filtered based on the filters we will provide. So for now, what we will write is top 10 apps by price. Okay. Now the third thing we will going to get is top 10 apps, the top 10 free apps. Top 10 free apps by install. Alright, so what do we get is the again app, and we have this installs. So what do we need is basically, let's duplicate this, and I'll tell you a reason why I'm duplicating this, and I'll convert this into a measure, and yeah, convert it into a measure. So what do I need? Oops, I pressed Ctrl Z. I was just trying to put it in edit mode. Install or count of installs, something like that. So what it is showing you is the count of distinct. So over here, if we choose the default property, aggregation count distinct, based on so what we should ideally get is the count, not the count distinct. So whenever you have scenarios like this, you may want to change the calculation. Always come here and in default properties, use the aggregation and the count minimum maximum. Based on the field, it will going to show you. All right. So what we are trying to do is this install, we will use it as a filter, which is a way much better of how to do this. And this is something we will going to use it as a measure. But if we come over here, the count of installs is based on the this particular number, like the plus is coming in the end, and that's why what you are getting is the issue of count over here. If the plus was would have been gone from here, then you would have not received that count sort of option, or only the count option that you are getting along with minimum and maximum. You would have the sum or the average, those sort of measures as well. So like I said, what you can do is always you can come over here and click on splits, and once you click on the splits, you will get this 10,000. So what we may do is we may probably remove this field we created earlier, delete this, have this as a count of installs. All right, and that is what I meant, is simply use the split and you will going to get this output over here. So count of split, where is that count of install? Let's convert it into a measure, and here we get it. So now you see that we don't get the count, but we have all the various sum, and if we go in aggregation, we have, earlier we just had the count distinct, minimum, maximum, but now we have all the different calculations that we can get. So yep, so what we can do is we have the app count of installs, and it should be free. So what we can do is first of all create this chart. All right, and so this Subway Surfers is the highest one. Well, I have never played this. I think this is a game. I have heard about this but never played this. Then you have the Instagram, Hangouts, Google Photos, so on and so forth. Well, that's interesting that it's the highest installed one. All right, so now up to us whether we want sum or average, but I think in this case sum is fine if I'm not wrong, but probably average makes more sense. All right, so average, and then we will change this from the type filter, and we will make it free. So our top 10 free apps, so top 10 free app by this top 10 count of installs, number of installs, and what you have is the average. And if I click apply and OK, it does not give this because I need to bring the apps into the filter because it is based on the app. So if I just click now apply, what you get is the top 10 on an average top 10 free apps by install, or the average install if you want to be really specific. And as you can see, if we change this to average, all the various the Subway Surfer is now gone. Most of the Google apps are now coming over here. So now we have this visualization. What we can do is start creating the dashboard by clicking here on the new dashboard icon. And what we want is, first is the vertical, and within the vertical what we want is the text, and the text is basically saying the Google Play Store apps dashboard, and let's make it Tableau bold. I really like Tableau bold. 22, and click OK. So at the top we get Google App Store, Google Play Store apps dashboard. If you want to be creative, we can get an image also of the Google Play Store apps, and for that we can search here Google Play apps icon. All right, images. So there's this icon, this one, probably this one is good. Right click, I'll just save it, save image, and in download we will say Google Play, and let's come back to the Tableau. All right, here we are in the Tableau. Click the image. What I'll do is press Shift and then come over here, choose the image, download Google Play, fit image, target URL is OK, apply, OK, and if we just reduce this a little bit, we can put it here at the end or wherever we like, which is much more meaningful, either at the here or maybe at the start. Generally it's been seen that people put it at the start, so what I'll do is I'll just create some space for this. Oops, maybe here, click OK, and now just put it there. Yep, looks a little professional because of this. Yeah, now looks very much better, right? So Google Play Store apps dashboard, what we can do is bring the content ratings over here as the second one. So what you see is basically the different content ratings and reviews, but what I needed is also the filters. So for now I'll just uncheck this. So what I need is going here in the content ratings, and let's bring on some filters, and that should be our category, and we will change this to however multiple values drop down. Category installs, so show filter, so we will change this to again multiple values drop down, and then we will have the ratings, show filter. So now if we show the filter, what you will get is sum of ratings from 8 to 36,000. However, what you can do is you can change from default properties the aggregation to average, but you may have to take this again. So ratings, show filter. So from now this changed from 4.1 to 4.3, and that's a problem we may have when we are showing this information. So we'll hide this again. What I'll do is I have this rating over here, which I have changed it into the dimension. So what we can do is either this, or we convert this ratings, which is where we have filled the missing values. So we will create duplicate and we will convert it into the dimension, and over here we will just remove the ratings filter maybe, and then right click, show filter. Now you have got from 1 to 5 these different ratings, and that is why it is needed that we change this into the discrete or the dimension values. So we will choose this to a multiple values drop down, and then finally we may take the Android version as well, which looks like a useful feature to have the user give the power to the end user to interact with. Now we have all these filters, so we will take the content ratings over here. We have got this this entire section. We have two options. Either we can have the filters there at the horizontal or at the vertical, or we can hide this. So this is a vertical form. If we want, we can make it like this, where we have this as the one which is bit of a horizontal. So what we may have to do is in this case is bring one by one into the horizontal pane first, and then into the into sort of space, give a space and put a right structure. So I'll press Ctrl Z and Ctrl Z again, and what I'll do is I'll bring the horizontal pane over here, and let me bring this, and then what I can do is I can put something like this over here. So we have got Android version, and then we can, if you see, I can put the ratings filter. Now you get what I was trying to say. Then installs, and then ratings or the category, and maybe any other filter if we want. Maybe let's say, for example, over here we have the genres, so, or install or last updated, sort of those filters. Maybe size is the interesting one, so we'll click on and say show filter, and multiple values drop down, come back to dashboard over here, and from here we can move to filters and put it size over here, and choose this to multiple values drop down, and then bring this up over there. So this way we can get to know or get our different filters, which is basically part of this visualization. One more thing, if you will see, is that this visualization is not becoming the part of the entire structure that we have, and the main reason for that is this standard width. So earlier it is like standard, but if you change this to entire view, it will be changed and come over here. But the only thing is we have to bring the visualization again. So if I just come back here, so I may have to do it again, but I think worth doing it if I am just putting the content rating over here. And the size, let me see if, yeah, it's coming like this. And okay, so this is again the issue of the horizontal pane. Probably the horizontal pane is gone, so we will bring the horizontal pane, and within that we will again just bring it. So this can be a little bit of an iterative process, and as you can see that we have this entire visualization which I was trying to bring, and then we have this as the another one. Control C and Control C. I'll just bring one more horizontal pane over here and bring these filters, which is basically useful to put it like a horizontal one. So as you can see, iterative process which we have to just work it out based on the situation we are in, and that way. And I'll just leave it up to you, how do you want to put the filters over here. And I will just come over here and make it floating and make this part of the visualization like this. I will maybe increase this a little bit, yeah, and change this like this one, so that you know it is coming properly. Or maybe I will just expand this a little bit up until here, and that way we have the proper visualization over here. Now at the end also we have to put the horizontal filter, and in that we will have these top 10 apps by rating, and then the top 10 apps by price, and top 10 apps by the installation. So if we just expand this little bit and expand this, as well as put this little bit on the right side, a little bit more, so that it will get. And what I'll do is I will just change this from 15 to maybe 10 and make it Tableau bold, and that way it will look a little bit better than earlier. Again do the same thing over here and put it Tableau bold and make it 10. Click apply, and then double click here, select this 10, make it Tableau bold, and click OK. So now, yeah, these three applications are coming here. The last thing is that we have the impact of these filters apply to worksheet, all using this data source, all using related data source, selected workbooks, only this worksheet means this worksheet. So what we can do is all using this data source. So if we change this, as you can see, if I uncheck this, everything will be removed from here as well. And then one more setting that we can do. So the first thing we did is apply to worksheet, all using this data source. And then in the customize, always make sure that when you have such a long list, you are checking this show apply button. Once you click on show apply button and you again come back, so what happens is you uncheck this, do your selection and click apply. Once you will click apply, relatively the values will be filtered for you, but like earlier, you know, it will not create that issue that as you will select one selection, the change will happen. You will make another selection, the change will happen. That way, your end user will not have a very good experience from the visualization. Now the same thing we will do it here, apply to worksheet, all using this data source, and customize, show apply button. Similarly over here, apply to worksheet, all using this data source, and then down there, customize, show apply button. Over here we will choose the customize, show apply button, also apply to worksheet, all using this data source, and this coming back to apply to worksheet, selected, not all using this source, and then apply to customize the apply button. And this app, I'm not sure, I choose the app, over there. No, not the app, but I did not choose this one. What I have chose, I should have got it. So we have content rating. Yeah, content rating is fine. And let's do this to all using this data source and then the drop down. That way we have these ratings. So now if we, one thing we forgot is the customize show apply button. So this way, once we make sure that we want to select everyone 10 plus, click apply, the visualizations will be filtered, but down there, this visualization or this will have an impact on your how different visualization or different, as you can see, for mature 17 plus, this is coming. And if I change this to teen or change this to unrated, the visualization, but looks like for everyone, if I click apply, most of the visualization will be coming. So that probably I see is the impact. If I click on apply, most of the everyone application will be coming over here, or the related application. So this way you can apply these various filters. So maybe the rating filters you can choose, uncheck this, maybe see all those apps which are having rating 4 and above, click apply. Well, only 4, but like this you can choose these multiple ratings over here. Yeah, that may be a pain. We may need to create a bit of a new calculated field based on this, that if it is 4 or greater than 4 and less than 5, then it should be like this, that we don't have to do this selection like I'm doing, because this will going to irritate your user a lot for sure. Because if I just keep on doing that, you can think how much pain I will have to, or your end user will have to do that. So for that you need to create a calculated field, like I said, with the if condition. If it is greater than 4, greater than or equal to 4, less than 5, then that rating will come. So we have Android version, we can do all that selection. Also we have the content rating here. However, we can make the content rating filterable from here itself. For example, if we enable this one, use as a filter, and we see everyone 10 plus, we will see that not along with the rating filters and everyone 10 plus, you don't get any apps over here. For teens you get some app, for mature content you get some app, and for everyone you get few more apps. So this way you can make an interactive dashboard like this, which is helpful in doing the analysis. It doesn't look really amazing right now because what I have done is not done the spacing and everything very perfectly. But if you see like this, if I am making the spacing and everything proper, Control C, making floating and putting it over here, maybe a little bit up, yeah, and then making some space, oops, like this, yeah, no, not like, maybe up until here. We can even have the blank put over there. So the blank will going to make sure, now this has become a huge blank, but this blank will make sure that there is some space between this and these filters. And then we can just put like this, take this here. We can be more creative by adding a line over here under the Google Playstore, by again using the blank and coloring it, and just giving a sort of a more professional look and feel. But this is a very simple and straightforward dashboard I just wanted to create for you, which you can create it mostly in the business scenarios, where the top 10 sales, the top 10 products, the top 10 shipping products, or the highest order products is basically what you create, and then at the center you have a main visualization where you want everyone's impact. At the top you have some filters which you want your users to see, and finally at the top you have the sort of a logo and look and feel. So that's about it, and that's mainly I wanted to show. But as I told you at the start of the video, that this is just my point of view. However, you can have your own point of view. So be creative a little bit more, at least more than me, and try to see what you can do, because the possibilities are endless. If you see, this is something which is rating, and for rating there are like different visualization, at least 4 or 5 I can think. If you will go back and look at some of my visualizations or the dashboard, you will find some ideas as to what you can do with the ratings like this, and create some applications for you. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in some other dashboard with a new topic or new data set.